The Story Vault presents Outlaws, Episode 2, The Hardest Road. The sun beat down like a hammer. The land stretched empty and cracked, an endless graveyard of dust and stone. Jess Ward rode at the head of the pack, shoulders squared, jaw set. His battered tan duster fluttered in the dry wind, the rifle tied across his back like a second spine. The others trailed behind, Luke McCready steady and silent. Whiskey Joe Harrow slouched in the saddle, humming tunelessly under his breath. Tina Littleshot Reyes, small and fierce, dark hair trailing behind her like a black banner. Their canteens were almost dry. Their horses' ribs showed under dusty hides. Each mile bled them thinner. Nobody spoke. Jess knew the truth they were all thinking. They wouldn't last much longer out here without water, without food, without luck. In the shimmering distance, a thin trail of smoke spiraled into the sky. A town, or what was left of one. Jess reined in, scanning it with narrowed eyes. Luke rode up beside him, green eyes wary. "Could be trouble," Luke said quietly. Jess nodded once. "Could be salvation, too." Whiskey Joe wiped sweat from his forehead and grinned crookedly. "Or a bullet in the back of the head. Ain't life grand?" Tina said nothing, just adjusted the rifle slung across her small back, her gaze sharp. Jess made the call. They rode. The town barely deserved the name. A dozen buildings leaned drunkenly into the wind. The saloon's roof sagged. The blacksmith's forge was cold and empty. A few thin dogs picked through trash in the dirt streets. Old men sat on porches, hollow-eyed, watching them ride in. A mother pulled a barefoot child inside by the arm, slamming the door. No law here, just hunger and fear. Jess dismounted slowly outside the saloon. The others followed his lead, moving casual but ready. Their guns stayed close. Inside, the saloon stank of sweat, smoke, and old whiskey. A few ragged souls nursed drinks they couldn't afford. Behind the bar, an old woman polished a glass with a shotgun propped within arm's reach. She squinted at him but said nothing. Jess approached the bar. "Water, food if you got it." The old woman studied him like weighing a cut of meat. Finally, she spat into the corner and nodded. Luke traded a worn saddlebag for a few canteens of water and a bag of jerky so tough it could break teeth. Joe slid a coin across the bar for a bottle of something that might have been whiskey or kerosene. Tina drifted near the window, green eyes watching the street. Something itched between Jess's shoulders, a warning. He caught Tina's slight nod before he even heard the hoofbeats. Two men rode in, rough, dusty, mean. Bounty hunters. Jess recognized the type instantly. The swagger, the casual cruelty, the way their eyes scanned the faces inside like a butcher looking over pigs. One of them, broad-shouldered, with a scar down his neck, stepped into the saloon, boots loud against the warped floorboards. He held up a folded paper, unfurled it with a snap. Jess's own face stared back at him from the wanted poster. Bold black ink beneath the words, dead or alive. The saloon went still as a grave. The bounty hunter grinned, nasty and slow. "Anyone seen these rats?" he drawled, his voice oily and loud. The second hunter stayed near the door, hand resting casually on the butt of his revolver. Jess felt Tina tense near the window. He caught Luke's slow inhale, saw Joe's fingers tighten around the neck of his bottle. No good options. If they ran, they'd be shot in the back. If they stayed, they'd hang. So they chose a third path, action, fast and brutal. Jess lunged first, slamming the bounty hunter into the bar so hard the man's head snapped back. The wanted poster fluttered to the floor. Luke drew fast, 1, 2, and pinned the second hunter's gun hand against the door frame with a shot so clean it spun the man sideways. Tina raised her compact rifle, one clean shot, and the scarred bounty hunter screamed, his pistol skidding across the floor. Whiskey Joe, grinning like the devil himself, smashed the bottle across the second hunter's skull. Glass and blood exploded in the air. The room erupted into shouting, chairs scraping, boots pounding. But nobody lifted a hand to help. The townfolk had already decided, better to let this storm pass through and survive it. Jess tossed a handful of coins onto the bar. "For the mess," he said roughly. The old woman behind the bar just nodded, shotgun never wavering. Jess and the riders stormed out into the street, mounting up fast. Behind them, the bounty hunters groaned and cursed in the dust. Ahead, the open plain called. They didn't stop until the sun had long since bled away, until the land was nothing but shifting shadows under a star-strewn sky. They found shelter in a rocky gulch, out of sight, out of hope. Around a small, flickering fire they gathered. Luke stripped a bloody shirt sleeve from Joe's arm, binding a gash. Tina silently cleaned and reloaded her rifle, green eyes catching the firelight. Jess sat apart, staring into the flames, face carved in stone. Finally, Jess spoke. "If any of you want out, now's the time." The fire popped and cracked. Luke stared into the flames, unmoving. Joe scratched at the dirt with a stick, not looking up. Tina tightened the strap on her boot revolver, then glanced at Jess. "I'm where I belong," she said simply. The others said nothing, but they didn't leave. They didn't even shift in their saddles. A heavy, final thing settled between them. Not fear, not loyalty. Something older, something harder. Family. Forged not by blood, but by fire, by gun smoke and betrayal and dust. The 6 gun riders weren't just running anymore. They were standing, together. The fire flickered low, and above them, the cold stars blinked down like 1,000 silent witnesses. Tomorrow would bring more blood, more wanted posters, more men hunting them. But tonight they were alive, together. And that was enough. Ride or die, always. If you're riding with the 6 Gun Riders, make sure to like, subscribe, and saddle up for the next ride. The trail's just getting started, partner. We'll see you out there.